Other festive shows were designed especially to show off the BBC's wealth of talent.
From around the corridors of Light Entertainment Group, mini sketches, mini comedies were prepared and placed, if you like, almost as a sample package in Christmas Night with the Stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's Dad's Army.
Lavender blue, dilly dilly. Lavender green, I'll be your king, dilly dilly. If you'll be my queen.
That was awfully good.
Was it really? I'm so glad you liked it.
You really have an excellent microphone voice.
Well, do you really think so?
Have you ever done any of this sort of thing before?
Well, as a matter of fact, I once played the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland when I was at school.
Really?
Yes.
So did I.
Did you really?
What school were you at?
Well, as a matter of fact,
Look,
I
can
went
we
to...
get on with the script, please?
And it wasn't just the stars who were in festive mood. Every year behind the scenes, the BBC's videotape engineers were participating in a secret Christmas tradition.
In the videotape department, down in the bowels, where all programmes are recorded and so on, there was known as the VT Christmas tape.
During the course of the year, there'd be a number of mistakes, errors, gaffes.
We've just heard that Swedish massage... Sorry, I'll have to repeat that again, if I may. We have just...
Come on, man. Put the milk easy.
Costumes collapsing.
Well, what do you say about that?
Sets falling over.
We'll be swaying, music playing, dancing easy.
The VT editors would select these bits and they'd shove them on one side and they'd put a dump roll somewhere. And come Christmas, they'd put them together and they'd make up some wonderful tapes.
And up in Scotland at Hampden Park, Cheggers will be up there finding out about the Scottish Cup final. And, of course, we've got... I can't keep up that face, I'm sorry.
It became then quite a tradition that when you cocked up, that you would say, Merry Christmas, VT, and they would put it on the tape.
If anyone amongst you knows... Merry Christmas, VT.
They were ahead of their time, the VT people, because what they were doing there have now actually become Auntie's bloomers. So, this was a long time ago, before any of those outtake shows actually happened.
Well, if by any chance you've got a Ted like this, I don't think I've got much of a Ted left. Goldie, get down, there's a good girl. Then chances are you'll have transformed it into a red Indian Ted, like this one.
It was for private circulation only. And the videotape boys weren't keen on letting too many people see this. And I really had to pull rank in order to make sure that I could get my copy.
There's a letter in the store. Big Ted, sit up. And now, little Ted's fallen over. My goodness. There's a letter in the story today.
Unfortunately, in '83, Bill Cotton's daughter bought a tape off a barrow in a market somewhere. And Bill reluctantly had to ban the Christmas tape.
And it was then stopped. We were having too much fun, I think. It was stopped, and I've still got the tapes, though. They were great.
Hello. I should just like to point out to all my friends in VT that I'm available for all sorts of personal appearances, discos, shop openings and that sort of thing, but no more Christmas messages.
And those wonderful devils in the VT department used to pull all the little clips together, long before the bloopers showed. Christ.
But while the VT editors were enjoying their secret ritual, the BBC studios went into overdrive, making sure their most popular shows were ready for the Christmas ratings battle.
And on the conveyor belt tonight, a black and white portable television, a cuddly toy, a fondue set, a compendium of games, a canteen of cutlery, the smell of disillusion and disappointment, Christmas Day leftovers, blood alcohol back to 53%.
Life is the name of the game, and I want to play the game.
In the early 70s, the BBC launched the Generation Game, and it was an instant hit. But there was huge competition to get a show on over the festive season.
To have a show on Christmas Day is, of course, a marvellous honour. So Christmas Day and Boxing Day were two very prized places to be.
Welcome to the Generation Game. Nice to see you. To see you!
Of course, we opened every show with nice to see you nice, which is Bruce's calling card.
Before the show, you know, people back home, we gave them a paper hat, a bottle of champagne, and some nuts. Didn't you get your champagne? No. You think we're nuts?
In 1971, on Christmas Day, the show went out at lunchtime, 1 o'clock. 4 years later, with the giant success of the Generation Game, it had been promoted smack to the start of the evening to draw the audience in.
At Christmas, they sort of up the ante just that little bit. They give it a little bit more edge, they give it a little bit more glitz. So you're watching the same show, but it's just, I don't know, you're just sitting there because you're surrounded by Christmas decorations. You know there's some presents in the corner. You've got Bruce on the telly. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to the hostess of the series, the very Christmassy Anthea Redfern.
Anthea Redfern brought an enormous glamour to the show, and of course another catchphrase: give us a twirl.
Let's have a twirl, darling. Oh, absolutely beautiful. And a Christmas twirl. It's very Christmassy. Definitely have a twirl. Oh, yeah.
I was looking back over the years recently, and I thought I sort of looked pregnant, personally, all the time. I thought, why on Christmas Day did I have these almost like tents?
Let's meet the 8 who are going to generate.
I remember sitting on the stool, and as the camera sort of rolled, and just thinking, well, there's only 2 options. I either sit here and do it, or I get up and walk out. And I thought, well, I can't really get up and walk out.
And let's meet our last pair tonight, Anthea, who are...
Nadine was competing alongside her dad, and they were up against a mother and son team, Marjorie and Bob Gallagher.
Son, Bob Gallagher, you're also from Middlesbrough, Teesside. You're a student at Hull University studying plant biology.
My first week back in university, which is obviously October-ish, and I got a phone call off my mum saying, they want us to go on the Christmas show. Oh, go on. Oh, Christmas show, better prizes. Go on, I'll do it then.
You work during your holidays, and you clean out sewers. Oh, yes, I remember reading about this earlier on. Thanks a lot.
I think we made more of an effort as well, generally, at Christmas, because we'd always try and get the festive Christmas wah-wah into it.
And the Christmas Generation Game had more big showbiz names in games like Guess the Celebrity Snowman.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle... When we got into the snowman outfit, it was just a slit like that, and you couldn't see anybody. And when everybody got in there, we said in the dressing room, who are you? Nobody's going to guess us. And there is this sort of showbiz ego that comes out. Nobody wants not to be guessed. So eventually we started chiselling the front of this thing out.
Number 1, we put Tony Blackburn.
Tony Blackburn? They've put Tony Blackburn. Do you think it's Tony Blackburn? Yeah! Well, let's have a look and see who... Oh, yes, and the nose. There it is.
There were 1 or 2 people that played the game, and they didn't get guessed. So, in the end, those of us who'd actually taken the initiative to actually do it, we came out of it, I think, slightly better.
Then came the contestants' chance to shine in the Generation Game Panto.